Welcome to Boss Blunt's Think Tank.
Appreciate it, my brother. It's been too long. Been a hell of a day, and I won't go over all of it, but we was just talking in the think tank, we all get together and we do these sort of things. And my fault, I haven't had the hours in a day, but one of the things through the filming for this 6 to 8 part series that I was chatting about today was 5 to 10 million of us, which I spoke before and was put in We Are the Well by yourself and others, Dolphin Elect Testy, and we were just chatting. But today we were just chatting, they carried on filming, and I was talking about lots of different things I hadn't spoken before. 5 to 10 million across all the different stocks, There was a guy there being interviewed, and he was in stocks that I don't know anything about. I've heard a mention, but I've not deep dived. So I sit in no judgment, I'm listening. And when he finished, it was explaining that maybe something he didn't quite see because he had a little bit of judgment on certain other stocks, not critical. But he's focused in on there's not enough hours in a day, and he runs a business and he's looking at these stocks and he's seeing what they're doing, and it's the same enemy that we all know through AMC if we're in it and GME if you're in it. And I was explaining how I look at it that, AMC on its own will be a snowball, GME on its own is a snowball, and they'll make it. They're rolling down the hill, they're going to pick up momentum, they're going to get bigger, and eventually they'll do their thing. But all stocks is an avalanche. And there ain't a fucking thing that they can do to stop it. Now, if we stay AMC alone, we're lucky. We've got 3.8 million shareholders in AMC. That's a lot of noise. It's a lot of people. That's a bright light that we shine. But if we stand alone, they're using all the tricks, and it's one stock that they have to concentrate, and they attack it and attack it and attack it. And the hit pieces from mainstream media is for everybody else that might look so that they don't. And they'll miss the opportunity to look and make their own mind up. But if we come at it as a community of all stocks and we're a goddamn avalanche, it's very difficult for them on their side, the people that are doing our companies harm, the people that are trying to rob breakthroughs in various areas, to be in a position where they can dismiss it easily. Because the hit pieces are all the same, the playbook is all the same, but if we're standing alone, it's easy to put people off AMC on its own. But if we're standing together and it's 10, 20, 30, boss, you remember back in the day, you used to put those that run up in and around the GME period, 1,500%, 5,000%, 50, 60 different
The
stocks.
domino effect of meme
Well, if,
stocks. Yeah, I'll put it up right now.
yeah, yeah. And if we all stand together today, if we've got communities out there amongst the big community of apes, if we've got people out there that have done their DD, and this guy cared as passionately about his stock as I do and you do about ours, and he was talking about the same enemy that I know that we're facing. This goes back to Virogen's enemy and other stocks' enemy, Overstock's enemy, Toys R Us, lots of companies, even Elon Musk talked about it. But if we stand together, it makes it much more difficult for them to dismiss naked short selling, market manipulation, all the things that we highlight that they do, because I'm saying it's happening here, and he's saying it's happening now, and you're saying it's happening over here. And we highlighted the fact that I'm in the UK and I can see something going on in the stock markets that Congress want to avoid or ignore. And the regulators don't want to regulate. And the people that are repeating the fines just get another fine, cost the business, and nothing's happening. But I'm out here looking and screaming into the abyss saying, look, this is something that's real. But if we do it alone, it's easier for them to control and fight against and put off everyone who doesn't know what we all know, to stop them looking. But when we come together and we speak as a collective community, it makes it much more harder. And then there was ideas come out about getting together and having a round table where different people is when we talked a little bit through afterwards, Mark, we were, went and had a meal all together, the film crew and stuff. We was just banging off ideas and soundboarding off each other. And Mark Fawkes was the guy that come up. He's had an idea of having like a round table where we have different people from the relevant stocks. Because Mark's very independent of any particular stock. And his reason for doing that is his message has always been the same. It's market manipulation and corruption within the market that isn't being dealt with, and it's leaving us all exposed immaterial to stocks that we buy. But he's obviously being contacted by snowballs from different communities within the wider community that are saying all together, hang on a minute. And his idea is we have a round table where, and my attitude at the end was, bring different people in every week. Maybe have somebody like Mark sitting there and asking the relevant questions around the table, but do it weekly or monthly and let people come in and talk about their own particular stock, one or two people, and go round the table. And then that's a beautiful way to highlight to other people before we have to wait until after when it's too late and nobody can make a few quid, have a rainy day pot for when they need it, because they'll have missed the opportunity. But maybe if we have a round table and people are sitting there from the US or Canada or Germany or France or Brazil or wherever, they can have people there and it can be different people that can bring what they think, and we just have a generalized chat, and then we can come in as a community behind that and watch and contribute to it, where we can see other people that we might not have heard or might not have seen. We can see old and young. We can see experienced and non-experienced investors. We can see people that used to be in hedge funds, because some of the people talking to Mark about this documentary that he's building and making have been on their side and stepped away. And they are coming back to say they're aware this is an issue, as well as all people like me and you that are also trying to do what we can. So there was that and an awful lot of other things that have gone behind or happened in the last 5 days while I've been in New York. But for those who do know me, and I could have bought another 150 shares. I got XXX shares after the reverse split. I could have spent the money I spent coming out here in order to be able to buy more shares, but I didn't. And I've always said the same. It's not money, it's people. And I'd like to think at least now people know I'm genuine about that, because I could quite easily have bought shares and just stayed at home. But this was too important. And I hope the community get behind this as they start seeing a little bit more and hearing a little bit more. And once they start understanding what it's actually here for, and it's not for any person to become a name or a face or famous. It's about people being heard, and it's about the ape community, and it's about what we fight and the enemies. And once we start uniting to that level and the avalanche becomes a real thing, round table and seeing clips of what they've done with the interviews, and when they see this is exactly about us, all of us, in all our shares, all our stocks, it is about the little people, the working class. 2 shares, 10 shares, 100 shares. It is about big business ripping the arse out of our communities, robbing our pensions, stealing from all of us. And that's what this particular documentary goes at. So it is going to be the technical stuff that we know Boss and others within our community are provided. It is going to be macroeconomics. It is going to show all that side, but it's also going to show the heart and soul. It's going to show you, our community, the whole community are screaming about this, and Congress as yet have not acted, and the regulators are yet to be seen to do anything about it, and the rule enforcers are not enforcing the rule. The lobbyists are being heard. And I'm in the UK, and this guy was in the US, and this conversation come out of just me and him sitting there chatting. But my fire was bright. Oh, it was scorching hot. And I let rip, and he let rip, and they just carried on filming. So we'll see what happens regarding that. You still there?
Yeah, still here, brother. Let's go.
I'm only sat. I've been looked after while I'm out here in New York. An incredible individual within our community reached out. This wasn't somebody that I'd had a lot of interaction with either. Talk about heart in our community. Kershaw, when I couldn't get tickets to meet Adam Arian in the UK where I live, reached out and extended a hand of friendship, and offered me a ticket, and we met up, had a great weekend with lots of other apes, met Adam Arian. It was incredible. Larry's another one, he knew I was coming to New York. He knew I was on my own, travelling alone, etc. And he met me at the airport, and he's looked after me ever since. We've got to know each other. We had time to walk around. He showed me all the sites. We went and paid our respect to the fire brigade, which was another topic that come up that I did rant about. We talked about the fire brigade and the police department and September 11th, obviously, and we got to know each other. We shared a couple of beers, had a few meals, and we walked around New York and seen, Times Square and everything else. Absolutely love New York City. I'm not a city fan, in fairness, but I absolutely loved it. But this guy reached out and he just looked at me. He's 66 years old. He's got no reason to do anything in life, but he's just the kindness that I see in him walking around. Old school, he'd open the door and ladies coming in, ladies going out, old school. And he polite to the young, and he took time to thank people on the ferry, and we got the ferry to and fro from where he is across into the financial district. And he took me around and showed me all the sites we went to see where they filmed Ghostbusters, which I thought he'd forget, but he didn't forget anything. And he's just looked after me. He's taken care of me. He talked about the investment, AMC, GME, what he sees as a problem in the market. He talked about the unfairness of it. Talked about his kids and his grandkids, his family. He talked about all the things that we've all talked about, and we're all the same. We're no different. I think if you're here, you got heart. And if you're here, you do care. And he just talked and talked. We shared stories, his entire life. Incredible individual, incredible stories. Really, really interesting. And we managed to sit down, and he was there when we talked to Mark. He made a property available so that they could film, which was through a friend of his. And they did a couple of interviews in it. And it was just incredible. It's just been the most amazing 5 days. I fly back first thing in the morning, back to my own reality. But it's been an incredible 5 days, and we had a good rant about the fire brigade union pension, the police department pension, and I guess that might or might not appear as part of this eventual documentary. So
That's really exciting news, Wolfie. Appreciate you so much for sharing all that. That is fantastic to hear. We'll see
well,
what ends up happening in the documentary, and what ends up in it and not. But I have a pretty good feeling that a lot of what you guys discussed is probably going to be in the film slash mini series, whatever you want to call it. So definitely looking forward to it.
glad to it, my
And if
friend.
you still
Last thing
feel
I'll
like
say,
swinging
unless there's
by,
any.
if you still want to come by Dallas, man, if you get a chance, come on by. If you don't, I understand.
Man, I would love to. I did look first couple of days as well, but unfortunately, I'm not a rich man, and it's home time tomorrow. I've got no more work days off.
I totally
But I just
understand,
wanted to
brother.
finish on.
Go ahead, my man.
I just wanted to finish on because I know you weren't on for long, but I just wanted to say this publicly because I've heard you talk about Lit Exchange, but I just wanted to have Marcel on Lit Exchange because I think it's quite important. When I spoke to them today, they was asking about the community and all the things we've done, and I talked about the space calls, and I've took so many pictures of different people's space calls with their permission. And I want to use that as a mural, and they really loved that idea. Use that in a mural when other people are talking about the community, and show there's hundreds, thousands of us out there in Twitter world, etc. So I talked about all the great things we did, and I talked about the importance of the work that you're doing with others around you, and that you've moved to Texas, moved your family, and that you're putting Lit Exchange together. And I wanted to explain it to them, and they give me time. And I talked about the benefit of what Lit Exchange will bring that no other brokerage out there has. And they can't get it because you can't buy it. this is you as one of the apes in the centre of all this, in YouTube and the Discord and the think tank, and you're out there on Twitter and you're using all social networks to get the message out. But the critical thing for Lit Exchange for me, as well as the fact that I know you, I've had conversations of your life and the family, and I've shared time with you on screen and in your YouTube channel. You've been very gracious and caring, and you've always been supportive of me. Lit Exchange has apes at its core, you and Cash and other people that are investing, and it has the think tank supporting it. And there isn't another brokerage out there that is for the people, that has got the people putting it together. And the Lit Exchange, the beauty of the Lit Exchange is it's not faceless brokers that just want our money. It's not the boy from Bulgaria that will fuck us over first chance he gets. It's not going to be routed through payment for order flow. It's not going to go through the dark pools. All the things that we're criticising, we understand that that's how they get our money into their pockets via that route. You're putting together Lit Exchange, which is at the heart of it is going to have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 apes. And when you're ready to reveal to the world what that Lit Exchange platform is and how people will be able to use it and what might be on offer in it, they're going to know that we were here in 2021 before you even had the idea, and you put yourself on the line. You moved your family. You made the sacrifice and put money into it. You got other people behind you. And within this whole community, we're going to have something at the end, which will be a legacy to us through the think tank and yourself and Boss Blunts, the Butcher of Wall Street, and the people around you, that we can remember and forever be thankful. And you can't buy that. And I think that's something that's needed to be said for a while, because you do talk about Lit Exchange, you are passionate, you do care, you got an heart of gold. I 100% support you, I always have. And we have our ups and downs as well as everybody else. It's a complicated business, it's an emotive business, but you stood by me and I've stood by you, and I just wanted to applaud you, say thank you, and talk genuinely from the heart on what I see as a benefit of Lit Exchange through your sacrifice and your family moving and being in Texas. And thankfully, I know around some really good apes in the think tank, and I know you'll do amazing things and good things by our community as an ape. So thank you, brother.
I really appreciate that, Wolfie. Thank you very much for all your kind words, my friend, and your support. I can't stress that enough. I do have to legally tell everyone that I did not pay or sponsor Wolfie to say anything in any way. He just decided to give that rousing speech, which was amazing. Lit Exchange is not a licensed broker dealer, and this is not an offer to buy, sell, or hold any security of any kind. But be on the lookout, as we have been in development for over 2 years now, and we look forward to completing the FINRA application process to be a fully licensed broker dealer in the coming weeks. That being said, thanks again, Wolfie. I really appreciate you, my brother. Let's talk about what the Securities Exchange Commission said, because I think this is really important. The SEC has just come out a few days ago, about a week ago, and said that today the Commission increased public availability of short sale data for investors and other market participants, while also filling an information gap for the SEC and other regulators who will now have insights that are unavailable under existing data sources. And basically what this means is that the SEC has adopted rules to increase transparency into short selling and amending the Consolidated Audit Trail CAT NMS plan for purposes of short sale data collection. So the SEC adopted the new Rule 13F-2 to provide greater transparency to investors and other market participants by increasing publicly available short sale related data. Congress has directed the SEC in Section 929X of the Dodd-Frank Act of 2010 to promulgate rules to make certain short sale data publicly available. This is called the Sunshine Act. This just occurred on Friday, October 13th, and they will have another meeting tomorrow. Okay, this meeting that just occurred was in regards to the Sunshine Act, which was passed, and the Commission considered whether to adopt a rule under the Exchange Act that is designed to provide greater transparency to investors and market participants by increasing the public availability of short sale related data, and whether to approve a proposed amendment to the National Market System Plan governing the Consolidated Audit Trail, also known as the CAT system, created pursuant to the Exchange Act to require a CAT reporting firm that is reporting short sales to indicate whether such firm is asserting use of the bona fide market making exception under Rule 203B of Regulation Show. What this means is that market makers will be required to indicate if their short sale is being marked short exempt. This will take some time to implement, but this is the real important part. I've got about 7 minutes of total film that I want to run you guys through after watching this 2.5 hour long meeting that occurred on Friday, October 13th. We're going to listen to 2 minutes here, and then we're going to jump backwards in the video to show you guys a little bit more information. Here goes. Check this out.
This grant of authority, which permits the Commission to require the disclosure of any
Let me turn up the
additional
volume.
information determined by the Commission, is so broad that an ambitious regulator could interpret it to permit the Commission to require the disclosure of almost any information imaginable. I believe that such ambitious interpretations are unwise. In this case, the Commission has exercised its discretionary authority in a manner that could discourage short selling. Short sales can play a vitally important role in setting a fair price for securities, which is perhaps the greatest protection for investors in the market. On the other hand, there are risks that short sales can be employed to abusively manipulate the market, and it's therefore necessary to mitigate those risks. Short selling as a trading strategy can result in economic rewards for conducting research into the value of a security, thereby encouraging such research. Why should anyone make the effort to conduct research if there will be no individualized reward for such efforts? This can lead to superior price discovery. If a person determines that a security is underpriced relative to its intrinsic value, they can purchase the security and go long. If a person believes that a security is overvalued, then they can sell it, if they happen to own it. But if they don't own it, then short selling provides a way to profit from this effort. By virtue of the efficient market hypotheses, the markets as a whole benefit from these private profit-seeking efforts. A market for securities that has informed investors engaged in fundamental research produces securities prices that are more reliable because they generally incorporate all publicly available information. The benefits of short selling go beyond improved general price discovery. Short selling often proactively reduces market manipulators that would otherwise occur. For example, in a pump and dump scheme where fraudsters spread false but positive news about the issuer, informed investors monitoring the market are typically the first to note that a share price is rising above its intrinsic value, and they can profit by short selling. Thus, short selling works directly against the actions of the upside manipulators by depressing the prices of the now overvalued securities. Another example is identifying companies with potential fraudulent disclosures. Short sellers were among the earliest persons to identify the potential problems with Enron. Short selling can be employed to abusively manipulate markets, though. For example, fraudsters might sell short a security, possibly through so-called naked short selling.
Listen very clearly to what he says here. Short selling can absolutely be used to manipulate the market.
Selling can be employed to abusively manipulate markets, though. For example, fraudsters might sell short a security, possibly through so-called naked short selling, and then spread negative false information about an issuer before covering their short positions at lowered prices. These activities are already unlawful. In addition, the SEC further regulates short selling through regulation SHO to ensure that markets remain fair and orderly. None of these concerns are at issue in this rule, just the public.
Now, let's move here to the real meat and potatoes and you guys will hear exactly what the Securities Exchange Commission thinks. This Caroline Crenshaw, the commissioner, Caroline Crenshaw, is the most important thing to hear right now.
Commissioner Peirce, Commissioner Crenshaw.
Listen up.
Thank you. It's no secret that short selling has attracted policy attention, especially during periods of volatile trading, such as the early 2021 meme stock episode, in which a dynamic involving short selling and social media was broadly reported on the media, by the media, media having a variety of mediums there as well. Congress even held several hearings and considered multiple legislative proposals associated with these developments in 2021. And overall, the episode highlighted the limitations for regulators of using existing short sale-related data to reconstruct market events like the meme stock events of January 2021.
She is a little monotone. Here it is. Listen up. We already heard. Don't worry, Dr. Outdoors. If you can't hear me, I'm not the one you have to listen to. That's the point of having the video volume upgraded like this. Listen to Caroline Crenshaw and what she's about to say next.
The reporting regime under Rule 13F2 that we are considering today would supplement currently available short sale-related data in a few important ways. First, Rule 13F2 and Form Show would help fill an information gap for market participants and regulators by providing insights into increases and decreases in reported short positions, which would allow the Commission to observe how large short sellers respond to heightened volatility. Specifically, the Commission would be able to observe on which days reporting short sellers most actively increase or decrease their short positions with more precision, and then correlate this activity to market conditions on those days. This could help the Commission reconstruct market events and design responses to events that take place during times of volatility, similar to the meme stock episode that might happen in the future.
Did you get that? First, they were talking about the meme stock episode that happened in January of 2021. Now they're talking about the meme stock episode that will happen in the future.
Help the Commission reconstruct market events and design responses to events that take place during times of volatility, similar to the meme stock episode that might happen in the future.
In the future. The Securities Exchange Commission knows exactly what's coming next. They are well aware of the possibilities that and the probabilities of another short squeeze in meme stocks. And not just one stock, but a plethora of meme stocks. And they want to have this in place, the Sunshine Act, so that they can see exactly who is at fault.
On which days reporting short sellers most actively increase or decrease their short positions with more precision, and then correlate this activity to market conditions on those days. This could help the Commission reconstruct market events and design responses to events that take place during times of volatility, similar to the meme stock episode that might happen in the future.
Now, as you can see, this video on the SEC YouTube page has 10 views. 10 views, ladies and gentlemen. I am the only person that has liked this video. I am probably the only person that has watched the entirety of this 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 51 seconds. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. But the TLDR here is we're going to be so fucking rich, and the SEC knows it. They know exactly what's happening. Exactly.
Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? Was it you, String Bean? You skinny ass looking motherfucker? Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it again.
Will you please be quiet? John, that is the President of the United States.
I don't care who it is, he's ruining Hamlet.
Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up.
Mr. President, will you please be quiet?
Suck my presidential cock, bitch! You fat-ass piece of shit! You tub-o-lard-looking motherfucker! What? 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 Hey!
What?
What? Huh? I don't know why you're looking up at me, bitch. Play's on stage. I'm not putting on a play up here. I'm trying to be entertained right now.
Mr. President, be quiet.
John, calm down.
Listen to the woman, John. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Hey, Acty, stop the play. Acty! Ho! Acty! Hey! Ho! I gotta go to the bathroom. I drank too much liquid. Now I gotta piss. I got a bottle. I got a bottle. It's all right. Rewind the play 5 minutes, though, because that fat piece of shit was talking. I couldn't pay attention to what you guys was doing. So rewind the play 5 minutes. And you shut the fuck up.
This is a clip taken from a show called The Whitest Kids You Know. And my friend here, Sigma, went ahead and edited it for us and just made it absolutely fucking hilarious. I'm going to touch on just a couple more parts here that are important about what the SEC is doing.
Creates better transparency. And the second around transparency around short sale related data. When somebody actually then takes a security and sells it short. And both of these markets, Congress not only gave us authority, but mandated that we do something. This creates better transparency in the markets, which tends to promote greater competition, but it also helps promote understanding and trust in the capital markets as well. These are two opaque areas of the market, short selling and securities lending, that Congress took up 13 years ago. And here we're able to possibly move forward on each of these. So to begin with, we'll turn first to the rulemaking. So it's paid subscriptions. It's only voluntary information being collected. It's got gaps because it's only from one part of the market, these so-called wholesale lending programs. So currently, only a limited number of market participants receive a portrait of the securities lending market, and even that portrait is incomplete. Now we get back to Congress. Congress mandated that we do this, and it promotes our mission as well. So in fulfilling Congress's mandate, today's adoption will promote greater transparency in the securities lending markets, both to regulators and the public. It will help regulators reconstruct and evaluate market events, such as with regard to how loan activity changed amongst borrowers. Further, more transparency in this area will help ensure market participants have access to comprehensive and timely information. I think that helps promote competition, transparency, what we talked about. I think it also promotes trust in our capital markets. In terms of reporting to regulators, the final rule will require lenders to report loan data to a registered national securities association. For instance, the Financial Industry Regulatory Association, so-called FINRA. They'll need to do this by the end of each day, and then FINRA will maintain a part of this information on a confidential basis. The confidential information will include names of the parties of the loans, further details with regard to sourcing strategies for the loan, as well as the use of the loans. As it relates to public reporting, FINRA will make available information about the loan, including modifications subsequently made, but information about the loan generally on the next trading day. So they'll aggregate, for instance, if it was on a Friday today, they'd be then putting it out on the next trading day. In this case, it would be, of course, early next week. That information will include when the loan was made, the collateral used, pricing information such as the loan rate. FINRA also will make publicly available aggregated data of the prior day's loan activity broken.
So we'll have information on the collateral that was used for that loan, which is also pretty great to hear, aside from the actual short positions.
Generally, the lender of securities to report information about the new unmodified securities loans, such as the lending fee and the transaction size, to a registered National Securities Association, at the end of the day on which the securities loan is effected or modified. The association, in turn, will be required to publish certain transaction-by-transaction information, as well as summary statistics, no later than the morning of the next business day.
This is great.
We also recommend that for these rules, reportable securities would be those for which the purchase or sales are reported or required to be reported to the Consolidated Audit Trail, CAT, FINRA's trace.
Securities to another person, the loan to the other person would be a covered securities loan for purposes of the rule. The definition of the term covered securities loan would also exclude a position at a clearing agency that results solely from central counterparty or central securities depository services.
Now, before you fall asleep, let's leave that there. Basically, the Sunshine Act notice by the Securities Exchange Commission is proof, one, that the SEC is actually trying to do something to help retail investors, whether you like them or not. Two, that the SEC is well aware that a future meme stock event is incoming, and they're already preparing for it. And I've got to address one piece. I've got to address something here. I'm hearing way too many uneducated people talk about AMC stock and CEO Adam Aron, claiming that Adam Aron is not saying or has not given any statements in regards to looking into synthetic shares and failures to deliver on the stock. Multiple occasions, Adam Aron has come out and told us very specifically that he has gone to the New York Stock Exchange and the highest levels of FINRA in order to ask for inquiries and demand that they look into the failures to deliver, the rehypothecations, the synthetic shares, and so on going on with AMC, including the naked shorting. He said, I quote, "I've got to be very careful what I say legally, but I can tell you this. On multiple occasions, even multiple occasions this year, we have gone to the New York Stock Exchange at very high levels to make them aware of our status on the threshold list." Adam Aron said, "Similarly, we have gone to FINRA, the regulatory body of the public markets, and we are voicing your concerns." On a separate occasion, August 2nd, 2023, Adam Aron also came out and said, "Many of you are incensed by the high number of failed to deliver AMC shares," by institutions, of course, and hedge funds and so on. And that AMC, again, has been on the threshold list for multiple weeks. We repeatedly have gone to the NYSE and FINRA and did so again in July to put and keep this entire situation on their radar. Adam Aron and AMC have already done 4 share counts in the last several years. 4. So stop asking for share counts because we don't need it. Stop asking Adam Aron to go to FINRA and the NYSE because he's already done it. And stop twisting the man's words or he's going to tell you to shut yo bitch ass up. Adam Aron is a fucking GOAT CEO who has increased the revenue and profits and profit margins of multiple multi-billion-dollar businesses. AMC is not his first rodeo. In addition, I see people telling lies like Adam Aron said, "There are no synthetic shares and APE was gifted to you for free." Neither of these two are true. Adam Aron did not say that. He has never said that in his life. This man and other shills like him are lying in order to make you as a retail investor angry with Adam Aron. Adam said, I quote, "We have no proof of synthetic shares." Now, why might that be? Well, that's because the only entity and corporation that has proof of synthetic shares would be the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. AMC Theaters and AMC Distribution are an entertainment company that plays movies and sells popcorn and distributes $100 million films and concerts like Taylor Swift and Beyonce and so on. They do not have proof or records of synthetic shares because it is impossible for an entity that is not either the DTC or the NSCC to have a record and a proof of synthetic shares. So stop asking Adam Aaron and the AMC to show you proof of synthetic shares and stop putting words in their mouth, because it shows that you're A, either ignorant and uneducated in the matter, or B, a paid hedge fund shill and or bot. We have to draw a hard line and realize that if we end up in court again, it is just going to cause a further lockup of our funds. Going to court with naked shorts does absolutely nothing for me. I would much rather see them get obliterated on the open market by a company that is increasing their fundamentals, their fundamental bottom line, paying off their debts, increasing revenue streams, opening new theaters, coming out with credit card partnerships, Walmart partnerships, popcorn and candy in retail store partnerships, distribution partnerships, and so on. And allow the market to naturally force shorts out of their positions. I'm not here for a word that I absolutely cannot stand anymore. A catalyst. For the love of God, please stop saying catalyst. Lord, I'm sorry for using your name in vain, but for the love of God, stop saying this catalyst, that catalyst, blah, blah, blah. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that. The fact of the matter is that a multitude of events, a series of events, many catalysts combined over the course of years are the only things and the only way that we will see proper price discovery. Issues in financial markets, companies increasing their fundamentals, companies sometimes even having to dilute shares because that is the best option opposed to filing for bankruptcy. Retail investors holding long positions and exercising call contracts. Black swans, fiat collapses, silver and gold contracts being repriced, and a plethora of other series of events are going to be the only thing that actually leads to proper price discovery. And whether or not that ends in a short squeeze or a mother of all short squeezes, I don't really care, because I'm here for proper price discovery, and I'm confident that when the shorts close their positions, the price of the stock will be in astronomical proportions. Now, if you've ever seen the show Billions, which is one of my friend here, Cash's favorite shows, you would hear them say, how certain are you about this? And the answer is, I am not uncertain.
My man.
I am not uncertain, Cash Money.
Oh, yeah. Me and you know what?
You're goddamn right, brother.
The sunshine.
Now, again, people keep looking towards the SEC and saying, why doesn't the SEC do anything? And why doesn't the SEC put them in jail? Well, it's because the SEC needs Attorney General Merrick Garland and the United States Department of Justice to step it up and file criminal suit against these manipulators, the naked shorters, the hedge funds. the Securities Exchange Commission is filing civil suits and fines, and without the help of the Attorney General, there's only so much that the Securities Exchange Commission can do. Congress has directed the SEC to enhance the transparency of short-selling securities, and last week they did just that. They're filing those, following those mandates, and actually trying to instill transparency in public markets. Now, if we want people to go to jail for illegally manipulating financial markets, you need to get on the Attorney General's ass. The Attorney General of the United States and the United States Justice Department and the Department of Justice International Law Enforcement Division as well for crimes that occur overseas. You need to point the finger in the right direction. And you need to get on the case of those that can actually do what you're asking them to. For example, these banks are not going to just realize their losses at any moment. You hear my baby back there? They're not going to realize their losses until a black swan occurs. They're not going to do it willingly, but there are plenty of black swans out there. Goldman Sachs is undergoing a loss in yearly earnings right now, and they haven't even realized any of their $40+ trillion in unrealized losses in derivative notional values. But they have seen a 33% decrease in third quarter earnings year over year, attributing it to a subdued market conditions, meaning a shitty economy and a shitty stock market, resulting in fewer deals for the bank, blah, 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 blah. At the same time, today, the 10-year bond yield exploded, first in pre-market and then during market hours, an additional 0.143 points to 4.85%. We have not seen the 10-year bond, the 10-year yield at 4.85%, I believe, since 2008, 2009. At the same time, you've got real estate developers in China like Evergrande and Country Garden this very day missing their loan payments and are set to default. Today, Country Garden was supposed to make a $15 million payment on some of their bonds by today, Tuesday, October 17th, because it is the end of their 30-day grace period. Their grace period is over. They already missed the payment 30 days ago. And today, if they haven't finished making it by the end of the day in China, their entire offshore debt will be in default. The entirety of it. Billions and billions of dollars. Then you've got the Communist Chinese Party, Chinese Communist Party, arrested the former Bank of China chairman, Liu Liang, just yesterday on suspicion of taking bribes and illegally granting loans. He was under investigation since March of 2023, and they're moving on him now. Dozens of officials have already been brought down since President Xi Jinping launched his anti-corruption probe targeting the financial sector in China. China now has the scapegoats that they need for the incoming financial crisis and black swan, with the former Bank of China chairman and the Evergrande chairman and CFO and others from Evergrande as well. America has Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline Ellison of FTX, Silvergate and Silicon Valley Bank, PacWest and First Republic, Credit Suisse, Archegos, and many, many more to come. We are just getting started on this wild ride. Not to mention naked short sellers and market manipulators and hedge funds and insider traders that are going to get fucking railed after this financial collapse by the entities that are overseeing the financial markets, just like we saw happen with Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers and their takeover by JP Morgan and other banks, federal government bailouts that went out, bailouts and bail-ins that went out to all these banks, and is going to have to go out to them once again once we see the same thing that the SEC just confirmed is going to happen in the future, other meme stock events and financial crises. That is why I continue to say Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen are going to need to get the fucking money printer out to pay me my money. I want my fucking money, and I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
There's that fucking money printer out.
Burr.
Burr, motherfuckers, burr. As bond yields explode, it is... As bond yields explode, central banks need to keep the U.S. Treasury bills and bonds propped up much more so than they need the equities markets of the stock markets. The stock market is nowhere near as important as the bond market to these central banks. And as these yields increase, it will give more incentive for them to finally let proper price discovery on the entire S&P 500 and all the small cap stocks, mid caps, and meme stocks actually occur. Period. Period. The Federal Reverse Repo Program, at the current rate, is set to collapse in 10 weeks. There is only $1.1 trillion left in the federal RRP. It is one of basically the overnight borrowing windows that in September of 2019, the Federal Reserve took over because it began to explode as there was insufficient amounts of borrowing. So in order to bail out the banks in September of 2019, the Federal Reserve took it over. And then they used the pandemic in order to prop up the stock market and inject trillions of dollars into the financial markets, which has in great part contributed massively to the extreme overvaluation of the NASDAQ, the S&P 7, the S&P 493, as we'll call the S&P 500 now, real estate, cars and automobile markets, the bond market, and many others that you're currently seeing. At the same time, the richest people in Congress that receive millions of dollars in lobbyist contributions from companies like Virtue Financial and Citadel Securities are receiving those funds and currently attacking reform of equity markets. They're trying to put an end to what the SEC is doing. They are including language in their fiscal year 2024 final appropriations bill that prevents funds being made available by their appropriations bill to be used to implement, finalize, or enforce rulemaking entitled Regulation Best Execution, Order Competition Rule, and Regulation NMS, Minimum Pricing Increments, Access Fees, and Transparency of Better Priced Orders. That is why the Securities Exchange Commission has increased the speed at which they've implemented the Sunshine Act. That is why, if you're just getting here, I will play this one last time and then we will cut. This is where Caroline Crenshaw, the Commissioner of the Securities Exchange Commission, comes out and tells you and I and everyone else, all 10 viewers of this video, and as you can see, I'm the only person that's liked this fucking video because that's how few people watch this, but I've watched all 2 hours and 23 minutes and 51 seconds, and I've come to realize that there is absolute gold in here that proves that the Securities Exchange Commission knows that meme stocks have not yet had their day in the sun. That's why they're shining the sunlight on these events.
to heightened volatility. Specifically, the Commission would be able to observe on which days reporting short sellers most actively increase or decrease their short positions with more precision.
Damn
And then
right.
correlate this activity to market conditions on those days. This could help the Commission reconstruct market events and design responses to events that take place during times of volatility, similar to the meme stock episode that might happen in the future.
Bingo. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be so fucking rich. Holy shit. I'm done. I'm done. Wolfie, anybody, if there's anything you have to add, by all means, let me hear if you guys have something to say. Because I have nothing else to add.
Wait a minute, filthy rich.
Filthy fucking rich.
I think you and Cash covered it.
Thank you, Wolfie, for your rousing speech at the beginning of the video. I appreciate you guys, Cash, Wolfie, and everybody else here in the think tank, and you guys in the comments. Quick shout out to, let's see here, Counterparty Risk. Thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Samony Welbeck, thank you as well. Yvonne Carnes, Chris, and everybody else who has super chatted into the channel to help keep it running. We greatly appreciate you. That being said, yeah, I think our time is now. I think our time is coming. I got a song for you.
Gonna be so goddamn rich.
I think it's time to blow this.
Hey, boss,
Get
kill the
everybody
late
stuff
stuff.
together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Gonna be fucking rich. I want my fucking money. Griffin, I want my fucking money. Yo, motherfucker. Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Great. Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't you?
yelling, give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Great. The bounty letter.
We're gonna be so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money printer out.